What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Nintendo Land, and Kirby the Forgotten Land has been tons of fun with tons of unique copy abilities that actually allowed us to upgrade them all and have some cool evolutions of them, and we got to pick our favorites and talk about them in depth. But of course, one thing I thought about is what if we actually got DLC copy abilities? Well, today I have 10 different copy abilities that are currently not in Kirby the Forgotten Land. And instead of just adding 10 copy abilities from a past game, I actually decided to make a whole bunch of evolutions for each one. So we have 10 copy abilities with 3 evolutions total for each one. We got a lot of content for you guys today. So instead of just picking 10 random copy abilities, I decided to go back to Kirby's Adventure, one of the very first Kirby games that had copy abilities, and chose from there. So of course, if you guys enjoyed this video, I will definitely do more from different games because there's still so many more copy abilities to go over. But thank you guys so much for tuning in. If you like this video, stop what you're doing right now, leave a like, and subscribe to stay up to date on all things Kirby and the Forgotten Land. If you have any copy abilities of your own that you want to talk about and maybe even make your own evolutions, comment them down below and maybe you could get yours chosen in the next one. First ability we have today is Beam, and Beam Kirby allows Kirby to go around shooting beams in front of him. He can do the little dash attack where he twirls it and beams come out, and he can even do this when he runs and jumps shooting beams below him, kind of like the same way that Ranger works right now with your dash attack in the air. He can also shoot projectiles out in front of him after charging up for a certain amount of time. The second evolution is Mage Beam, which leaves different status effects on the enemies that Kirby hits, whether it be fire, electricity, water, or ice. It kind of leaves a cool little thing like that, and maybe you can even control them by going through a slow roulette or something like that. Would be really cool. And then the third evolution we have is Super Beam. This was taken straight from Kirby, returned to Dreamland with the super abilities, but this one is just a giant beam that can be controlled, very similar to Lucas or Ness, and you can kind of drive it around the stage pretty much. You can also shoot a lot bigger blasts that come out from each explosion, which just makes it a very strong version of the first evolution. Parasol Kirby, of course, lets Kirby glide down slowly from the air. He can shoot water splashes right in front of him and also drop down from the air very quickly with kind of a stab attack with the umbrella like he does in the 2D games. But his second evolution is the Water Parasol. It allows Kirby to do the move that he does in Return to Dreamland where he shoots a rainbow out above him and splashes water all around in a circle, but he can also shoot water across the ground, kind of like the water ability from Return to Dreamland. So he's kind of a little bit of a mix between Water and Parasol here. But the third evolution, I decided to make kind of a Krako Parasol or Storm Parasol. This is a giant storm cloud that can grow the more you use it, and the more you charge up water inside of it, it'll get bigger and bigger, allowing for giant attacks that can also do water and electric damage. But once it reaches its full charge, you can actually use an ability where it shoots a giant cloud up in the air and rains down tons of water, hail, and even electric lightning bolts shooting down from the sky over a certain area. So it can be a massive boss killer. Now, high jump would probably be hard to have in Kirby in the Forgotten Land, maybe a future 3D Kirby game, because right now Kirby's height is very set to a low state. You really can't float too high in this game, so jumping super high probably wouldn't work either unless this ability allows you to do so or something. I don't know. It would kind of work, but you know what I mean. But anyways, in the main games, all you can do is pretty much jump high and blast in any direction. You can say, kind of do that here. You blast in any of the 3D directions that you want Kirby to go, and it'll just kind of rush towards enemies or blast really fast. The second evolution is Rocket High Jump, which allows Kirby to have a stronger burst off the ground when he takes off, and also little rockets will follow Kirby and land as he lands on the ground. Very similar to that of the Drill evolutions that you get later on, and those little drill rockets follow Kirby, and the little pencil does too in its second evolution. And third and final evolution for High Jump you have is Hero High Jump, which turns Kirby into a superhero, gives him a cape and everything once again, but this time he is super quick. He can run fast, and he can also glide and fly through the air horizontally for a long time. So yeah, you could pretty much fly around the stage as Super Kirby and just kind of take out enemies as you're running into them or flying into them. That could be pretty cool. Laser Kirby is actually going to work a lot like Ranger Kirby, but just a little bit different. There's not too many abilities that actually work like Ranger and Kirby ever, so I would love to see more like it. A Laser Kirby allows Kirby to shoot one laser out of his little eye glasses thing like he does in the game, and even in the game he uses his hand, which is in the earlier games, which is weird, but he'll have his little eye laser thing like he does in some of the games. He can shoot one laser and it can bounce off walls, which is a new take. The double laser allows Kirby to shoot out 2 lasers at the same time or spam them for rapid fire where they shoot out at different times. And then the third evolution would be Cadet Laser, which allows Kirby to fire 4 total lasers. He has 2 little NES zappers in his hands, and he can just pretty much blast in different directions and stuff. He can spin around and blast in circles, and yeah, he can even shoot through walls with his little eyepiece that allows him to see through the walls. Yeah, he pretty much gets the plasma beam from Metroid. I wanted to give Mike Kirby a fresh new moveset here, instead of just being like Crash does since it's already in the game. Kind of wanted to do a take the same way they gave Sleep Kirby a moveset in Kirby Clash or Battle Royale or something like that. But yeah, I'm surprised they just left it as normal Sleep in this game. But yes, Mike Kirby will have 3 different forms based on the different forms that he has in game, because in game you can only use this 3 times, and each time he looks a little bit different and uses a different mic. The very first set of Mike is going to be where he runs around with a little mega horn and his little hat, and he can just pretty much shoot out music notes or just different, speaker effects at enemies up close. And it does a lot more damage up close than far away. Studio Mic is the second one, which actually gives Kirby a microphone and allows him to pretty much shoot projectiles and music notes in a straight line that will just kind of blast out in front of him. And maybe the music notes fall down and explode, kind of Mario and Luigi style, like it does with the font when the enemies talk and stuff. That'd be really cool. But then we have Rocker Mic, which gives Kirby this punk rock vibe and allows Kirby to shoot out music notes in different amplitudes all around him, throughout the air, and even in circles around him, completely devastating enemies that come near him. Even maybe giving him a charge effect, giving him more powerful, shots that he can shoot out. Next up, we have Spark/Plasma. Nintendo changes the name back and forth, so we're just going to call it Spark for this instance. Spark Kirby allows Kirby to move around the stage really fast or kind of just jiggle the controller in order to build up electricity. And there's 3 different levels of charge shot that he can actually shoot at enemies just like in the games, and if you spam the attack button, he can shoot electricity all around him and hurt people near him. The next level up we have is Static Spark Kirby. This sends out shockwaves across the floor when he attacks. You can also store his first charge by shielding after the charge, and it stores it in his little backpack unit that he can continue to carry on. And you can use 2 of them at the same time, or use 1 at a time. The third level is Shock Spark. This sends Kirby's waves of electricity through the air with his giant antenna on his head. He also has a new level of charge that strikes the antenna and blasts everything around Kirby in a giant blast. Kirby can also control where this final blast goes as well, anywhere on the stage. Stone Kirby was one of those that just surprised me that was not in the game already. So this one is just going to turn Kirby into different types of stones like it does in all the games. Different references to past games and stuff like that is definitely going to be here as well. But you can also run and slide and do this as well, or slide downhill as a stone Kirby. Second evolution is Brick Kirby. This can allow Kirby to throw heavy bricks as projectiles and even attack in different forms and use these bricks to kind of form different things for Kirby. Maybe form a giant shield when you push shield. Maybe he can even punch with a giant fist like he does, I think in Triple Deluxe he's actually able to do this, and some of the later Kirby games. He can actually have maybe like a giant brick foot that allows him to kick really hard, and just different things that kind of give him different transformations with his body instead of his entire self. And then finally, the third evolution is going to be Assassin Kirby. This one's based off of the outfit that he wears in the anime and also Kirby Superstar, which allows Kirby to do quick transformations, and you can go through a slow roulette of different choices and choose what type of Kirby you want to rock with. For instance, you can choose a giant slow concrete Kirby that moves real slow but is extremely powerful, or something small and quick like Pebble Kirby, which is super quick but allows him to shoot out little pebbles as projectiles, with a higher rate of fire. Be the first ability that actually has stats for extremely powerful and extremely quick that can counteract each other. It'd be pretty cool. Look, I know we already have Carmouth and Kirby in the Forgotten Land, but I still would love to see Wheel. Wheel just moves so quickly and so much more freely, with Kirby literally turning into a wheel, and that's what he will do in the game. He can just drive around and just run over enemies. And lots of these different evolutions are probably going to be very basic as well. It's a very basic copy ability, not meant to do anything super crazy. The second one is going to be Wheelie Wheel, which is very fast, and it leaves fire behind him as it travels, and once again it's just a faster, better version that also can damage people that come up behind you. And then the third variant would be Big Wheel. Big Wheel will actually have spikes all over the wheels that can shoot it forward, back, and maybe even out the sides as it's traveling, and it would be a pretty big wheel. Maybe not as fast as the others, but it would be pretty giant, and you would be able to squash through even mini bosses and sometimes even taking out big bosses very quickly. UFO Kirby is a copy ability that I miss so much. It's just not used as much as I really want it to be. And this time, obviously, it's able to fly around and have 3 different charges that has 3 different attacks, like a beam, a laser, and a blast shot. And you can fly around the stage pretty much anywhere you want, up, down, left, right, just pretty much wherever. Of course, they would have to find a new way to mapping up and down, since it is a 3D Kirby game. It'd be kind of hard to raise and lower Kirby, but I'm sure they could figure it out. Come on, it's Nintendo, it's HAL Labs, they got it. The second evolution would be Drone UFO, which has a cannon that you can actually aim and fire, very similar to Ranger Kirby. And it also has the effect to kind of dash through enemies and fly through the air by like bumping them and hitting them. You can also now pick things up and drop them for damage on the ground, just like you would a cow if you were some other type of alien invader. But then the third evolution is one that would be really cool. The Mothership allows Kirby to spin and fire tons of laser attacks all around. He's got lasers and cannons all over the UFO, and he just spins around shooting all types of crazy attacks. The abduction ability now allows Kirby to copy certain enemies for new versions of their attacks. For instance, if Kirby captures and copies a fire or ice enemy, the Mothership turns into a fire or ice UFO, shooting out these respective things, such as flames or maybe the different shards of ice and stuff. That would be super cool. It'd be like a copy ability within a copy ability. Awesome. The last copy ability I have to go over today is Throw. This is grabbing enemies and pretty much just tossing them in different ways and just kind of sumoing them around. You can grab stars and even throw them with precise aim in a 3D space, which would be really cool, once again kind of going back to that Ranger ability. The second one we have is Plumber Throw. Please don't even ask me why. I just thought it'd be cool to have Mario ability, and he wears these giant Mario gloves that he's able to actually extend from his arms and grab enemies from a far distance. This will work a lot like kind of, you know, the ARMS characters from the ARMS franchise, but I was like, they would all have fists, so it really wouldn't work with Kirby. So I just said, you know what, we're giving him Mario arms, Mario hands. That's what we're doing. I don't know why it's happening. Maybe we'll add a weird one each time we make one of these videos. But the third one and final one we have today is Sumo Throw Kirby. This was based off of E Honda from Street Fighter, and pretty much just give Kirby the ability to slam on the ground from in the air, or simply just slam his foot on the ground to shake and rattle everybody on the ground, giving him the ability to then grab them. But this time when you grab, it's more like telepathy that actually warps things towards Kirby in the general direction that he's aiming, which would be pretty cool. It'd be kind of OP, yeah, but I mean, imagine him just kind of being able to warp an enemy to his hands and then being able to throw them. He can also hold multiple different enemies and even charge up throws for a stronger throw, just absolutely launching people around the stage. That'd be a lot of fun. And that was 10 brand new copy abilities and their evolutions if they were to be added in a Kirby in the Forgotten Land. Hopefully we get some DLC with these added. That'd be a lot of fun, but let me know in the comments down below, guys, what was your favorite copy ability? What was your favorite evolution today? Thank you guys so much for tuning in, and if you guys have any other copy abilities or evolutions that you want to see in the next video, put them down in the comments and you might be included in that next video. But thank you so much for tuning in, and like always, I'll see you all on the next one. See you guys.